What's up, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Game, your one-stop shop for everything cool in video games. I'm one of your hosts, Drew Vosley. Now, before we get started, head over to our website, insidethegame.ca, where there you can find a lot more content, as well as our weekly podcast. Now, coming up on today's show, I talked to Ken Hall from Two Dogs, where he talks about Destiny's Sword, their latest up-and-coming MMO. From there, Corey and I discuss a couple reviews with The Colonist. Nate and I jump into a few games as well. You can find a lot more coming up on today's show, but first, let's get started with the Inside Scoop.
So this week, big news from Microsoft. They've had a huge response with their ID at Xbox program. As we all know, that's the indie developer program. They had blown us away with some amazing stats. They've had over 1,000 different titles put on their repository for 67 different countries, over 4 billion hours played, and grossing $1 billion in revenue. It's absolutely massive. This week, Sony had a big announcement with their PlayStation Classic platform. They confirmed 20 titles that are to be on the device, 3 which I feel are really worth mentioning are Final Fantasy VII, Rayman, and Metal Gear Solid. For more information, go to our website at www.insidethegame.ca for more details.
So Xbox has announced their games with gold for November, and the lineup is looking pretty sweet. We have Battlefield 1, we have Assassin's Creed, we have Dante's Inferno, and Race the Sun. So I highly recommend you download those games because that is a really good lineup. So Rockstar has done it again with Red Dead Redemption 2, banking over $725 million within 3 days. Now, it's not as much as GTA 5, banking over $1 billion, but still a really crazy contender.
Sometimes brothers make mistakes.
Blizzard has officially announced the Overwatch World Cup, which starts on November 2nd. There are 8 different countries competing in 4 cities. So to catch the latest news and stats, visit our website at insidethegame.ca.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Drew. I'm here with Ken Hall, and we're talking about Destiny's Sword. Ken, now you were telling me this is an MMO.
That's right.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about the game?
So Destiny's Sword is a strategy combat MMORPG, and basically what makes it different is that instead of focusing on leveling the stats and abilities of your characters, you're managing their psychology and mental health as they go through their combat careers.
Now that is a very different take from what you would normally get in an MMO. Why take that stance instead of going the more traditional route?
Well, number one, we felt that a lot of these communities in these games were becoming somewhat toxic because the games took a winner-takes-all, sort of philosophy. That every time somebody got better, everybody else was forced to keep up, and it really created an almost, narcissistic environment. So we wanted to create a game that gave more meaningful social interaction. We wanted more team-based, more cooperative sort of stuff. Yeah. So that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to create a game where it was more about sort of working together to achieve success. So with that teamwork in mind, we also wanted to sort of bring more awareness of the consequences of long-term conflict. Okay. So it wasn't just running around blowing people's heads off and nothing happens. You know, it was sort of saying, okay, what happens to the people who are in conflict when they have to do these sorts of things? You know, that obviously has a big long-term impact on them.
Yeah, it does. Now, obviously MMOs are meant for big parties, raids, that kind of stuff. Can we expect that in this?
Yeah, so one of the great things is all this sort of success, you've got to work together with a team of at least 60 people. That's your guild size. 60
people, okay.
That's right, and they'll be sort of working together to achieve success in a communal fashion. So all of you will be working to pool resources and develop your sort of support network and increase your capabilities.
Is there combat at all in the game?
Oh, absolutely. So the game is probably about 60% nurture and about 40% combat.
Okay.
And that combat has all kinds of exciting modes. There's quest modes where you're going off doing exciting sort of narrative missions.
Yep.
There's sort of against boss battles, old school stuff where you get like up to 16 players taking on a big boss at once. And
nice.
Having to coordinate, one guy's attracting attention while somebody else is hitting the boss from behind when it's vulnerable, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then you'll have sort of the more sort of ongoing persistent, what we call the war campaign, where you're actually fighting like a game of Risk with all your friends trying to hold territory and achieve success for your faction.
So obviously MMOs have been around a very long time. What inspirations have you guys found from those games and bringing it into Destiny's Sword?
Well, so we used to play a lot of the old school games, a lot of these narrative games like, the Crescent Hawk series and Metal Gear.
Yeah.
And we wanted to bring that kind of excitement, that kind of, immersiveness into our MMO, into sci-fi, because there haven't been all that many, sort of sci-fi MMOs lately. And we really wanted to sort of change that here for sure.
Nice. So obviously we're out in space, or where's our setting?
So we're on a planet, but we are in a world that has sort of jump drive and spaceship travel, and that's kind of the root of the problems that we're going to find out here. It's like most of these things, it's a fight over fuel, that kind of stuff. But but we're going to sort of look at a lot of environmental and social issues along the way in the narrative, which is kind of fun.
Awesome. Are we going to be able to customize our characters, or like kind of pick classes?
A whole bunch of ways we're going to be able to sort of not just customize our characters, but really sort of express ourselves and our identity through the game. And it's one of those games where instead of sort of setting up the characters and then that's how they play, how you use the characters determines how they develop. So your own play style, your own sort of the way situations you put the characters into, how you react, that's all going to determine the course of development in the game. So it'll really be a unique experience for every player.
Now, what's the pay structure for this?
So that's the other thing is that we're seeing such a big backlash these days against the loot boxes, against pay to win. It's so greedy. Many greedy monetization models out there. We wanted to treat our customers with respect and dignity, do something different, and put them first. And so we're creating an ethical monetization model. So no pay to win, no loot boxes, none of the gambling casino mechanics, all that sort of stuff. We're opening a sort of what we call a micro subscription model. So short duration, low commitment, subscription options. So like on the order of a couple bucks a week sort of thing.
Nice.
So what that does is it allows you to tailor your gameplay to the way you want to play it. If you want to focus more on the healing side, the repair side, the crafting, if you want to do more of the combat, all those options are available, and you can sort of just do more of that sphere that you enjoy participating in the most.
Cool. Now, Two Dogs Games, how big is your studio if you're bringing on an MMO?
Yeah,
that's a lot of work.
Well, that's the thing. We've got a team of individuals who've been in the industry. Most of us have been in it for at least around 20 years, so we've been doing this stuff for a long time. But this is the first time we came together as a group of independents to make the game we believe in, something we're passionate about. We've got 12 people on the team full time, and we're sort of bringing in other people as needed to sort of help out with the project.
That's awesome. Now this is coming to PC?
Coming to PC first and then console. We're looking for an open beta date of October next year, to October 2019, and we'll be doing a big playable demo at PAX East, so we'll be able to get our hands on sort of a playable build around that time.
All right, where can everybody find your game?
So the best place to get us is come to our website, destinysword.com, or check us out on Facebook, all the social media platforms, Twitter, all on Destiny Sword.
Excellent. Ken, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks so much for talking to us. That's exciting.
All right, let's head back to the show.
All right, take care. Thanks.
All right, so in this review, we are becoming a knight that is cursed and saving a princess. Okay, Randall, so this week we were talking about Castle of Heart on the Nintendo Switch, a knight platforming, for lack of a better word, disaster.
I would totally agree. It kind of set itself back apart. Definitely not in the platforming elite like Mario or anything.
Yeah, you know what? I saw previews of this game and I was actually pretty intrigued. I really was looking forward to playing this, hoping there'd be kind of like an RPG element in here, some platforming, some good combat. Boy, was I disappointed.
Yeah, I have to give props where some props are due. Some of the level transitions where you walk into a house and it opens up, you can see the contents in it, were nice.
Some details were pretty good.
Some attention to detail.
Yeah.
The biggest critique I have is that the controls were just not intuitive. Like, it would tell you, like, you do this to pick this weapon up, and then constantly fumbling, trying to remember which one did which weapon, and it seemed like they would just drop. I don't know if it was just a glitch or what it was. I couldn't get it to do it.
Same experience. And this is one of those games that your health bar constantly depletes, and you have to kill the enemies to keep your health bar alive, and then you're losing your arm because your health is fading away. I'm just like, this game is rough. Graphically, it actually caught my eye.
Yeah, definitely.
I was pleased. The background looks good. The characters are actually repetitive though, but the textures and everything else, the foreground, I really liked that a lot. But the story was just kind of bland. Character animations weren't anything to talk about really, and the AI was brutal.
Yeah.
There are these hanging lanterns, and I would shoot the lantern would fall and then light the ground on fire.
Yeah.
And the AI would just keep coming into the fire and kill himself. I wouldn't even have to touch him.
No, I had the same experience. It just was not working out well for me.
No, I was not really feeling this game, to be honest. I was probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours in, and I just honestly couldn't do it anymore.
No, I had the same experience. Like I tried to do it as much as I could, but I got to a point where I had the same complaints you did, and the AI was just enough to make me not want to continue and pursue more gameplay. So
No, and the lack of story just wasn't really there to push any attention me for going forward with the game.
which was surprising because, like, in the opening credits, they discuss, the background story with the knight and the princess and how the town has become cursed. But it seemed like outside of that, there just wasn't any storyline at all.
No,
that was it.
It disappeared. The story was right at the beginning, and then there was nothing to carry it through.
No, exactly. And from a gamer's perspective, story content is really kind of why you play. Like, I mean, there's obvious exceptions. Like if you're playing like a first-person shooter, then you're just in it to kill stuff. But if you're like me, somebody who appreciates like a good story to go with good gameplay, I was really not finding it in this title.
No, not at all. All right, Randall, let's wrap up Castle of Heart. What do you score in this one?
I'm afraid I'm gonna have to give it a big solid 3.
I'm right there with you. 3 for me as well.
Drew, Week 6 Fortnite Grand Finale at TwitchCon.
Yeah, it's finally here, the grand finals now. We are on a level playing field straight across the board. There is no lag issues, no latency, no nothing. It is nothing but the best going head to head.
It was a wild weekend. And I say that because we've got PC and controller players going at it at the same time.
As well as the reapply of the glider, which changed up the whole other format as well.
Build battles changed forever with this.
It was an intense weekend. 6 games over the course of the grand finals. Why don't you give us the show format?
So what we're looking at for the point system, it was very elimination based this week, opposed to some of the weeks prior. We're looking at 3 to 4 eliminations, you get a point. 5 to 6 eliminations, 2 points. 7+ eliminations, 3 points. The bonus being there, every elimination past 7, you actually get an extra point for every elim. So they're really looking for these players to go right at each other in this one. Victory Royale gets you 3 points plus $50,000. Second and third place, 2 points. Fourth to fifth place, another point.
I thought it was a fantastic format. I like the fact that they went back to the original idea of the Fortnite Battle Royale and just went on eliminations.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic because the way it works is you really get at it with the elimination-based gameplay, right? We've got these players that have such a high skill level in this game that you want those people to be going after each other, get those exciting clips, footage, of just those big build battles, lots of kills, or eliminations, sorry. And it's just wild. It's wild.
There were some very intense plays going on. A lot of going on with Aiden and Nick Merckx.
Yeah, definitely a storyline that they followed throughout the entire weekend because these guys, if anybody watches Nick Merckx, they know he's a Tilted Towers guy all the way. He lands there almost all the time. He's always looking for those high eliminations. Aiden also is a guy that lands at Tilted Towers very regularly. Plus, these guys are actually playing on PS4 controllers.
Yeah, they were going with the controllers. They weren't even going with the mouse and keyboard. Kind of your more traditional route when you're going for a high competitive format like this. So to see them come in with a keyboard or with a controller, I thought it was very cool to see. You know what? Just because we're on controller doesn't mean we can't match you guys.
And that's the thing. And right from game one, Nick Merckx and Aiden dropped and tilted, and they went for ownership. They were going around taking off the duos that were landing there, not really knowing that they were getting Nick Merckx and Aiden were landing there.
No.
And so they took over. They took over.
And they were there all day. Not once did they land somewhere else out of the drop. When that bus goes, that's the first place they went, and they were there for a long time, managing the resources and eliminating the teams right in their own hometown.
And that's the thing. You notice once these teams land, the first thing they're doing is they don't always go after each other. Sorry, they're going after resources. They're kitting up to make sure that any battles they do get in, they're fully set, fully prepared for it. Because in this tournament, materials is everything.
Absolutely.
If you don't have 3,000 materials by the end, you're going to find yourself in trouble. And we've seen when these rounds come to a conclusion, the build battles that go on, it's wild. So as far as game one's concerned, the main storyline was Aiden and Nick Merckx landing in Tilted Towers, but we also followed Tfue and Cloakzy. They're
very
from the
close
FaZe clan. They're very popular players, popular streamers. People watch them. And everybody was kind of keeping their eyes on them because they're kind of
course.
higher name players for the tournament.
Yep.
And unfortunately, in game 1, Tfue actually got eliminated early, around the 60 players left mark. And that hurts a team. It's even at that skill level, it's difficult to be successful by the end of the round. But Cloakzy found a way.
Cloakzy was incredible all tournament long. The elims that he had by the end of the tournament was incredible. We will touch on those stats here shortly, but yeah, definitely some highlighted plays going on from those two.
Yeah, and when we really got down to it at the end of the first game, Cloakzy actually managed to make it all the way to the final 2. And when we're talking about how these builds are going, and it's a tunnel system essentially at the end of these rounds, the fact that he was even able to make it that far, let alone rack up eliminations to help his team with Tfue not being there, it was incredible.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was incredible.
Man goes all the way to top 2 with, I believe, he had like 5 elims on his own.
A valiant effort, honestly, but Pate, I mean, we saw at the end there 3 med kits, was sitting on a campfire, and there were multiple layers built between him and Cloak down at the bottom. It was basically unlosable at that point. Look at this. Look at this view. He's just enjoying the time.
So obviously, it all came down to one round. That was game 6.
Yeah.
Right? So game 6 started off relatively slow, like they typically do.
Yeah.
But honestly, I found this one a lot slower than the other 5.
People were playing a lot more cautious by the end of this tournament
Yes.
because, well, Drew, there's $400,000 on the line.
Absolutely.
And,
That's insane.
We all know how easy it is to make a mistake in this game, and with players like this, half a second is all it takes. So it was interesting to see how it all broke down, because that final build battle
was intense, right? It was slow to get started, slow and steady, and then it all just came down to the end. So why don't we touch into some highlights here? Nick Merckx and Aiden are getting into some trouble, and Aiden is nearing death, only on his lifeline left. Nick gets tagged as Aiden is healing. Nick is out and sniped with a headshot early.
Yeah, it was like a 33-meter snipe through a wall. It was, you know what, players, you can't protect yourself sometimes, and they tried, and it just didn't happen for them this round.
Absolutely. Tfue and Cloakzy are in retail row now with 25 elims, showing why they are at the top in this weekend.
Domination.
20,000 in materials used. Fuzzy and Igma starting to battle in retail, but Ghost Aiden is out thanks to Vinny. Nick Merckx and Aiden placed 41st in the team on this count for game 6.
Yeah, it's funny. They can play so well, but if they don't play to that point system, they'll find themselves at the bottom of the leaderboard.
Yeah. So things are starting to heat up as the circle is now shrinking. 40 people left alive. Let's take a look at this circle. 6 elims around the board, but Cloak and Tfue are now out, placing 6 with 3 kills. And they're done already. I didn't think to be out that early.
No, you know what? Again, like I said before, and I'll say it again, the skill level in this tournament, it doesn't matter if they're one of the best streamers that people watch out there. There's always players out there that are going to be competitive with them. And in tournament mode like this, tournament style, it's very difficult for these guys to reach that top spot sometimes.
That's fair enough. Now to finish things off, Zexro is floating at the top, waiting to capitalize on the situation. Lands at the very last minute to get the win, to take the victory. Right at the bottom, everybody at a mad dash at the end, and Vex is just lingering around the top, just to wait to drop at the end, and he pulls it off, gets him a win.
Talk about a highlight.
Absolutely.
All right, Drew, let's take a look at the final leaderboard here. We got FaZe Cloak and FaZe Tfue at the top, winning the entire tournament with $400,000 and 640 points for their team, and plus $60,000 for their 28 elims, 22 by Cloakzy alone.
Not a bad weekend at all.
Not bad at all. Coming in second, we got Nate Hill and Funk Bomb, splitting $255,000 and 450 points for their team. In third place, Zexro and Vinny with $165,000 and 350 points for their team.
And that is it, everybody. That is the grand finals of Fortnite.
Fall skirmish.
Not bad at all.
Awesome.
Zexro floating on down. He's just hoping people almost forget about him up here.
He could pick up multiple points right now.
By just floating.
There's 6 opponents left.
Yep. I believe they're guaranteed top 5, which will be another point too.
Jack, look at the number of players just exposed in the
He's
open
going,
fighting each other. He's going to dip in. DMO.
He's floating on down. DMO now out. Zexro in the fight. Can he get it?
There it is! 8 eliminations.
Big bonus and the victory royale.
All right, everybody, so Ubisoft has just released a new Toys to Life game. So let's go exploring the solar system. Alright, so Ubisoft has launched this new Toys to Life. Nate, Toys to Life is kind of faded off. So to see this coming out of Ubisoft, and today we're talking about Starlink. What do you think of the game?
It's a pretty good game. From what I've played, it's got a really good foundation.
Yeah.
Some kind of weak areas. It's a little repetitive. By a little, I mean a lot.
Yeah, okay.
But you don't know what? It's all around. It's a good game. But
It's a solid game. I think they have built the foundation on Starlink so far here. So we're trying to get through the Atlas and going from playing as, honestly, this felt like how No Man's Sky should have been.
yeah, absolutely. The transition from hovering on the ground,
man.
to flying into the space, and then going to hyperdrive, and then going to another planet. It's all on just one smooth motion. There's no loading.
Oh, it's fantastic.
There's no graphical errors or
There's no glitches at
latency or
all.
anything, man.
Nothing.
I was really surprised by that.
I'm having a great time with the game.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of depth in the game. Now, this is an odd title because it's downloadable as well as in-store purchase with these ships that kind of attach to your controller, which unfortunately we didn't get.
Yeah.
So we can't comment on that. But it's a weird system because when you get the game with the controller and the mount and all that, you're restricted to that ship. But yet when we got the code to download it all, we got all the ships.
Yeah. So that's I think that's a pretty big issue.
It's puzzling, right?
It's just weird. Why when you buy the physical copy for the same price are you being restricted to what people who just buy it digitally? It doesn't make sense.
I don't know. Honestly, if you're going to buy the game, I would recommend probably just buying it digitally. That way you get
absolutely.
everything. You get access to everything. And I've had one ship die to then transfer over and pick up another ship to continue on. I've had 6 ships, so I'm good to go.
Yeah, and when you buy the physical, you only get what, 2? Is it?
Yeah, something like
The
that.
base edition, which is
Yeah, everything starts with the base edition, right? But then you got to build on. The cool aspect is, though, you can actually take off the weapons and click them back on, modify everything. The depth within building and crafting your ship and modding your ship and modding your character, and then all the background necessities of kind of making you feel more powerful. And the weapon selection is pretty wild, too.
Oh yeah, there's tons of weapons, and if you combine fire and ice, it makes it's like a thermo.
Yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for? But it's just they combine and make a huge effect, and it's just it's a cool little addition to the game.
Cool, because you got like you said, the fire, and then you got the ice, but then you've got the vortex as well. So the way, if you freeze your target, and there's certain enemies you can't freeze because they're immune to that.
Yes.
But if you freeze them, then they can't move. Then you hit them with the flame, then they'll just explode
Yeah.
and stuff. It's choosing the right set of weapons to coincide with who you're kind of battling against.
And it's really smooth.
Oh, it's
Just like you press start, it's right there. You press left or right trigger, you switch your weapons. You can do it within 5 seconds. There's just it's not like there's no load times, there's no lag. It's just built so perfect, I find.
Ubisoft, that's what we said though, right? It's kind of like Assassin's Creed to Assassin's Creed 2. I think they had the bones for Assassin's Creed 1, and then Assassin's Creed 2 comes out and you're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like Starlink's first Assassin's Creed. So they're there. There's something here. Whether or not they carry on with the Toys of Life if they bring out Starlink 2, I don't know.
Yeah, and you know what, since we're older, it doesn't really affect us. I think for kids, it probably does add a whole lot of extra fun to it because you have a cool ship. And you can, switch it on the fly and stuff. But I don't know. For me, it doesn't. I'm 26. I couldn't be bothered.
I felt the story was kind of geared more towards the kids, even though I could appreciate the story. I actually got involved. I dug the story.
Dude, I totally dug it.
Yeah.
I really actually enjoyed it. The voice acting, it's not cheesy. I mean, it can be, but it's not out of place. It just feels like it's meant to. It's a little bit kiddish, but it's kind of serious, and it's really cool how the story kind of unfolds. I really enjoyed it.
It's a huge scope of a game. I was really impressed with what they were able to achieve here.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I agree with you totally.
All right, so if we're going to wrap up Starlink from Ubisoft, what are you going to score this one?
I'm going to give it an 8. Actually, going to give it an 8.
You're
I was kind of on the fence, but honestly, since it's his first game and they really have it just smoothed out, and a good foundation, like we said, I think it deserves an 8.
I think it's a good start. They have something here to work with and craft off of. So I'm giving Starlink a 7.
Hold on. That tower.
All right, we are back with another Game On segment, and today we're playing Nidhogg 2. A 1 versus 1. So the basic of the rules here for this one is we're going to play each other once and see who comes out on top.
Sounds good.
All right, let's do this. On guard.
All right, here we go.
Okay, now I gotta catch up. Get up here. Up here. Nope.
Oh, he's chopping him down. Oh, you have a little sword.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't want to play Drew.
crap. No.
I got him with the bow and arrow. Where'd you get the bow?
All right.
No.
I think
This is crazy.
this way. Ha. No, you don't. No, no.
Oh, skewered. That should come up on the screen. Oh, nice move.
Oh,
Get up.
deflection. You deflected that.
Yeah, this is a pretty wild game, man.
As if I gave that to you. Sorry, what is it? Forward X?
Well, that's a big sword, Nate. Big sword.
Run.
It's not working, I swear.
Oh.
I fell.
Get off the screen.
No. Oh, come on. Really?
So how does it? What's the screen transition?
So look, there's there's a bunch of bars at the top.
Oh, so he wants to push to the right, and you want to push to the left. I got you. Oh.
No.
Keep
Really?
rolling through. He's got to roll through. Oh, he's hit.
No. Oh, jeez.
In the kneecaps.
No.
The whole.
No. I squish you again. No. No. Oh, I threw my bow and arrow at him. What's that gonna do? No. No.
Randall, I don't
Where
think
am I?
this is going to take as long.
This is.
It seems like it's gonna be like a run through.
Oh!
No.
No.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
All right. Next screen. There we go.
Oh.
No, unarmed.
No.
Oh,
yeah.
You hit my Achilles heel.
Go. No crap. Oh.
Where's
I'm
your
up.
sword?
Running. No. Don't.
Dude,
Don't.
it doesn't work like that.
Keep going the other way. Go the other way.
No, but the forward X isn't throw.
That's how I threw. Oh, damn. I had
This
no
is
weapon.
like 10,
You know what
but
the chop
stakes are a
is?
lot higher.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
I got
I'll keep going.
I feel so confident.
No.
Come at me, bro.
Because he's the one commanding it right now, even if you run off the screen. Oh, look at it.
Oh.
Big dodge. He's going for it. He's going for it.
No. No.
Oh, I threw my sword.
Crap. Where am I? Get back. No. No.
Yes!
No. Get out of here. Gotta go. No.
Oh, you threw the ball and arrow.
Go. Just run.
Oh, I was not trying to roll.
Oh, just
Whoa.
go. Just go.
Oh, I wish I'd throw the darn sword.
Full speed. Actually, Nate, you should stick with the small sword because you've been stabbing faces like crazy.
No.
Oh, I thought he had the drop attack on you there.
Here. Oh. Crap. Hold this.
Oh.
As if you're pushing me back.
Yeah, give me.
Oh, he's just going for the run.
Woo! Run.
Oh, he's leaking. Oh, it's a big
No.
one.
What?
Oh,
My sword.
Oh, final screen.
Here we go.
Whoa, back up. Oh. Yes.
Oh.
No.
He's got to make it.
Whoa. I almost blew it.
Oh.
No. How?
He's rattled.
Oh.
No, I poked your toe.
Oh, that was a big kill.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dodge.
Nice.
Dodge. Oh, look at this. He's got to guard
Come
that.
Yes.
I was blocking down.
No.
How far is the last screen? Oh.
Oh.
Oh, it's
Bow
there.
dodge.
Oh, man.
Yes.
then you get eaten.
I get eaten by the worm.
Yeah, the whole goal is for you to sacrifice yourself to the gods.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm sweating.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Wait, back up.
Yeah, back up. Pick a different screen. Or a different layout. Gotta change it all up.
Train.
Train, yeah.
All right.
Throw a train in the mix.
All right, round 2. We got Randall going up against Corey. Let's see how they make out here. Corey is orange.
Yeah.
All right.
Whatever.
Randall's
Oh god.
Oh,
the girl.
it begins.
Why do we both have the same haircut? I didn't realize. Oh man, Randall, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh,
So far, Randall's off to a winning start. So much for Corey. He's got.
I literally got no idea what I'm doing. Oh no!
Draw.
Where am I?
It's a draw.
Oh, why did
What?
it just spawn
Okay,
me
wait,
falling
wait.
off?
This game.
There we go. Push.
Oh no! Oh, I'm looking for the double
You guys
dip.
picked like the hardest level.
Oh.
There, go.
I'm going! I'm going!
Run!
I'm going!
All right, here comes Corey, making his comeback. No, I take it back. Hey, there he goes.
Protect this house! Huh. Oh, I can't get past you on the train.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Peace, Randall.
Shoot him! Shoot him!
No!
No, don't.
Oh, can I not go past? I gotta take him out.
You gotta, yeah,
Just
you gotta-
swap it. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
there you go.
Oh,
What?
What? Okay, now.
Run.
Run.
I'm running.
No, you're not. Keep going.
Oh!
Oh.
I tried to jump dodge him.
Nice.
Alright. Oh. See you. I don't have a weapon. I do now.
Oh.
How do I roll?
Down. It's just press down.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, not down the train tracks.
Oh, he was still up.
My poor body. Oh no! Oh no!
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Final screen.
Oh, Corey!
Corey, this is it.
You're done! Oh! Randall sacrifice!
Yo.
Nate's excited.
All right, this is it.
Big anticipation championship
One.
match.
Off
to a good start. Oh, knock, knock. Oh, man. Oh. You can't sleep on the small sword, I'm telling you.
No, you can't.
Big one either.
I had him.
Took him with you. Oh, nice block. Oh!
Squish. Oh!
You slipped on the goo.
Nice.
How? What?
Nice.
This guy's holding on to walls.
Ah, that's it. All right.
Oh!
Oh, I even rolled into that one.
Nah.
Where are you? I'm going up.
So much blood and guts. It's all
Oh! I just jumped off.
I love how it sticks around, eh?
Yeah.
Oh!
Oh, what is that?
What the?
That's just me going, please.
Oh, Randall's on the move. Oh!
Look out.
Oh! I didn't have a weapon at all.
He threw it away.
I did.
Oh!
Nice.
A Drew.
No!
Oh, wielding Excalibur.
I need a weapon. Oh!
I feel like this is gonna be a pretty even match here. We've been sticking on that middle screen. For a while.
Yeah.
Oh! Oh!
All it takes is a.
Oh! Oh! That was close.
Uh-oh.
True.
Uh-oh.
Tension. Hey, I'm going.
Drew's making a run.
Yes!
He's making a
Cut it
run.
out!
Final screen.
Oh!
Oh.
Run!
Maybe you can't see
Come on,
me.
Spider! Oh!
Don't worry about me. I'm just hanging out.
No!
Oh, the stomps.
Ooh. Oh, yes. Oh, another head stab.
The guts. They're everywhere.
Uh-oh.
No! No!
Cannot stop that bow and arrow.
No.
That thing is awful.
Deadly.
Oh, not so good close combat.
No! Oh, I went back to you.
Oh.
Come on, Spider-Man. Like, get off the wall. No!
Oh!
Come on! So close!
Oh!
No. Oh, yes. Stop.
No! I didn't even see it. No.
Oh, blocks it. Uh-oh.
Oh, Randall, here we go.
Oh!
Yeah.
Deflection.
No. Just run. Sword.
Oh.
Yes.
That bow and arrow through the monster.
No! Every time.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Uh-oh. Here we go. Uncharted
go.
territories for Drew. Oh, he's making it happen here. Oh, this might
Go!
This is it.
might be it.
You got one more chance.
Oh!
Drew with 2 wins.
Wow. Nicely played, boys. Nicely played.
All right.
Well,
There's another segment of Game On. Luckily, I pulled it out by about this much. So, Randall, you're up 1. I'm up 1. And these two.
Goose eggs. It's all right. Got another chance.
hi there, I'm Nate from Inside the Game here with Justin from Red North Studios. How's it going today, man?
Pretty good. Nice to meet you, Nate.
That's awesome, man. Okay, so what game are you guys developing? What is it called?
The game we're currently developing is The Rage of Pluto.
Okay, so what can you tell me about? What's the game all about?
Well, The Rage of Pluto is basically about the fact that we as people have demoted Pluto as a real planet. So basically, this planet he is kind of seeking revenge, and the way to do that is to kind of fight the evil alien invasion, which are the X-Eyes. By fighting and defeating them, he saves the galaxy.
Okay. So what could you tell me about the development process? You guys have been doing it for a while now, right?
Yeah.
How long has it been?
We pretty much started it as a game jam, a small project right out of school. It was supposed to be just something we got done in 48 hours. Fast forward from there, we're about 2 years in now. So.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Yeah, so 2 years, I can imagine that was quite a process.
It was. It definitely was, and it's continuing. It's ongoing. So.
Okay, that's awesome. So, how many guys are working on it? How many people are working on it?
We got 3 people, 3 of our core team working on it. That's the majority. We have our music guy, our artist, and then we have our programmer. And then we have a couple of other people helping with social media, and as well as things such as UI programming, little things with like that.
Okay, that's awesome. Where can we find this game? Or when does it even come out? Is it out?
It's not out yet. It's not out. We're just in our beta build now.
Okay.
We expect the game to be released, we're hoping the end of October, because we have a Halloween package that we're going to be releasing as well for some players. You will be able to find it on the Google Store, on the Play Store.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
So I definitely have to download it on my Android.
Perfect. I hope so.
Yeah, definitely, man. Okay, so how much does it cost necessarily for the game? Is it a free-to-play game or?
Yeah, the game will be 100% free to play. You'll be able again to find it on the Play Store. It won't require any sort of in-app purchases. You're not having to watch any ads, nothing like that. 100% free.
Oh, that's really awesome. So how do you make money then if it's a free-to-play game with no ads and stuff?
Well, that's the one thing. This is a passion project. We actually started this project as a game jam game fresh out of college.
Okay.
So it started just as a passion project, and we just wanted to see it through all the way through and just bring something that we thought was fun to the market for everybody to enjoy.
Dude, that's really awesome, man. I have high hopes for this game for sure.
Thank you so much.
All right, well, thanks a lot, Justin.
Appreciate it, Nate.
Have a great day.
You too, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. So look forward to Team Canada facing the Grizzlies at the Rainbow Six Canadian Nationals in Toronto. All right, Nate, we are talking about Rainbow Six Siege Canadian Nationals. We're heading into week 4, but I'm also seeing a trend with players coming up short. We the North, down another player, disqualified from the season, and really no chance of heading into the finals either.
No, you don't know what? It was overall kind of a pretty bad thing for all the teams around because it gave Team Canada a bye, which was a really big, like almost clinched them. Like there was a lot of variables, but it pretty much clinched them a spot.
Well, pretty well, right? It gave them 3 points, but put them up so high and just almost out of range for anybody to catch up.
Yeah. So, you know, like one thing I gotta say about this, for these teams who are missing players, how do they not have even one backup player? Like that, you know, it's kind of rough. Like I understand family things come up and families first, you know.
Of course. But have somebody on the bench that you can pull up, right? When you got a full baseball team, not everybody's on the field all at once. Someone gets hurt, they pull in somebody else because there's someone on the bench that they can pull from. Have a spare.
Yeah.
Right? You need to fill a team. If you're going to compete at this kind of level, then make sure you got a full team and then someone there who's to back you up if someone's able to drop out, because things happen in life all the time.
Yep.
Okay, Nate, there's 3 teams or 3 games going this week for day 1. We're talking about Cry6 against Carleton Ravens. Oh, what the heck happened here? So Cry6 plays with 3 players only.
Which was the first time, by the way, in the Canadian Nationals.
Sure, against Carleton Ravens with 5. And Carleton Ravens couldn't even pull out the win.
No, you know what? It didn't surprise me in a way because it seems their trend for the whole season. They got another tie.
Oh, it's just unfathomable that you were falling short. They are short 2 players. What a huge advantage that is.
Dude, whenever you play Rainbow Six, at the start of a match, if 2 players, even 1 player drops out, you're like, okay, we lose. It's pretty much an automatic loss.
How do you strategize and coordinate with your players if you only have 3 going up against 5?
I don't know, man.
You put Carleton Ravens on the defensive side, lock and load around your objective, and make sure your crossfires are covered, and then that's it. You just pick them off. To tie.
The whole thing was, man, they just kept each kind of like doing their own thing. They weren't working as a team and playing together. They just like, oh, we can do this by ourselves. But no, because Cry6 is actually a really good team.
Yes.
And it showed in that game with the 3 guys.
Absolutely. You have 3 guys going up against 5, and if you're able to pull it a tie, I almost wanted to see them win it just to kind of go,
yes.
Come on, really?
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully Carleton Ravens are able to figure it out for next year, because this is that shouldn't happen at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kids' dorms and just play it very anchored up and try to get that diffuser back.
And unfortunately, if Blue Ball sneezes too hard, he dies, because he has less than 1 HP from the looks of it, but he's going to get taken down relatively easily by Nivek, and Nivek finds himself a handful of kills to clutch the round for his team.
When we get into a real match, and I'm talking about match number 2, Les Baguettes against the Grizzlies.
So this was a very big match.
Yes.
Because Les Baguettes, they needed the win to have the potential to make the playoffs. And the Grizzlies being in second place.
Could have been such an upset.
Oh, it could have been such an upset. Oh.
Well, at the end of the day, though, what happened was because there's so many variables, they could have been there right with Team Canada, and going into day 2, they would play Team Canada. So if they beat Team Canada, that would knock the Grizzlies out and put Les Baguettes up and go to the finals.
Yep. Oh, it was...
it was intense. It was a great game to watch.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
All right, Nate, this is a bit of a shock. Les Baguettes actually take the Grizzlies 6-3 in this match. A bit of an upset. Grizzlies now got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, so for day 2, Les Baguettes needs to beat Team Canada, which is no easy task, as we've seen the whole season.
Yep.
And the Grizzlies actually need to lose to Mirage Esports.
Yeah, these are all over the place, these standings and stuff. So we are now so close heading into the finals that it's just a matter of 1 win, 1 loss, 1 tie, kind of puts everybody just all over the map, right? So to see what happens for day 2 is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
He's going to get on his cams, and Frenchie's going to find Jidus, and it's all up to Auli now to clinch that lead going into the second half here. He's going to spray through the wall. He's going to find the head of Frenchie, and it's a 1v1. Now he's reloading. Will he get caught out? No, he might be able to get the plant down here. He's going to do it right behind the desk, but the Maestro cam is going to start teasing at him.
Yeah.
Gets the plant. No choice with the amount of time that was left, but ultimately Darkin doing a pretty heads-up play and no way! Owly!
He withstood. What the hell?
He withstood and clutched. I can't speak. He clutched the round for his team. Unreal.
Okay, Nate, match 3, we're talking about Mirage and Honor Esports. Now, Honor Esports, again, one of these little jumble this around, jumble that around, and they can maybe possibly squeak into the finals, but this is pretty slim.
Yeah, like there was a whole bunch of variables that...
Oh, absolutely. This team needs to lose, and that team needs to win, or this happens and that happens, but... Now, this was actually a very good, entertaining round, so why don't we catch in some of the highlights?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so match 3 is over. Unfortunately, Honor Esports not quite able to pull out the win, and that's what they needed in order to stand any chance of making it in the finals in Toronto.
Yeah, man, it was pretty upsetting, but what an exciting match. To go, 10 rounds back and forth.
Yeah.
Those are always exciting, but I hate seeing ties.
Yeah. I wish they get rid of that tie system, right? Even that's a winner or a loser. It was right there.
Yeah.
Entertaining right down to the end, right down to the very end of the round for that last match.
Yeah, man.
We still have Pulse trying to scan in the gold vault here as Smoke is not getting greedy. They try to plant again, but once again, they're going to have to move. Very good job of denying the plant here. He pre-throws the third one now out as Maestro's going to get on his cam to give that information to his teammates if and when they do decide. And there it is. They're going to smoke it off again. They only have 7 seconds now. They're going to have to stick it, but Vic's going to find one, and there's a second there. And that's going to be it. The SMG-12, I guess he just proved us wrong. Managing to handle that recoil very well.
All right, Nate, it all comes down to day 2. We have Team Canada, Les Baguettes, and the Grizzlies fighting for that top spot. Now, it could be a huge upset just within game 1 because we have Grizzlies versus Mirage. And if Mirage beats the Grizzlies, that puts the Grizzlies out.
Yep.
That's big problems. And then you got Team Canada versus Les Baguettes. And if Les Baguettes beats Team Canada, that knocks the Grizzlies out. And there's even the possibility that Team Canada could throw the game to Les Baguettes to face them in the Toronto finals?
Yeah, man. I think we should head into game 1 with Grizzlies versus Mirage Esports.
All right, let's check it out.
So Mirage is up 3-1, and they have a big chance to upset the finals, as going into the second half could be difficult for Grizzlies to come back from and take the match. And there it is, as Grizzlies take round 5, as Frenchie takes 3 kills to give Grizzlies the much-needed win of round 5.
9, he's stuck in the corner, and that's an easy kill for Focons, but not for Craigsor. Will take down Elastic. Frenchie will finally trade him out. So now it's all down to Girofair, and the 1v3, and Frenchie locked in now in round number 5. As even yesterday, it took him a long time to wake up, and the same thing here, but...
This looks to be the start of a comeback that the Grizzlies were looking for, as they are starting to make their return and come back to take the next round and lead, going up 4-3 in round 7.
We'll wrap it up. Actually... Yes, it was Focons. Clean that one up, but that's tying things up now. Another defensive win on Coastline.
All right, Nate, there it is. Grizzlies take this 6-3. What an amazing comeback from the Grizzlies, and what an amazing play by Focons.
Yeah, man, he absolutely stepped it up. He got 2 kills at the very end and defused the bomb, all within the very last few seconds of the match.
It all comes down to timing and precision when you're playing Rainbow Six. And something like this is what makes the highlights, right?
Yes,
This is what we all live for when we're playing this game. To see the pros pull out plays like this. What a fantastic match. Why don't we get into game number 2?
Yep. All right, heading into round 1, Whiskers steps it up with an outstanding 4 kills and pretty much takes it all for himself.
It's up to Jitus try and push down the server stairs.
Nonetheless, I don't think Jitus is going to have enough time to make anything of value happen as Whiskers peeks around the corner and then finds his 4th one.
All right, so round 3 is probably one of the most insane rounds yet, because Euphoria and Jarvis, with only having 6 HP between the pair of them, managed to knock out Cinnamon from Jarvis with a beautiful headshot, and then Euphoria will finish off a full HP
Jitus.
Shot on each, and then
Wow.
they'll end it. Now taking damage to the backside, and he'll be finished off. Euphoria and Jarvis on a collective 6 HP, able to complete the 2v4 comeback and stick the defuse on the site retake. Team Canada flexing.
All right, Nate, there we have it. Team Canada taking Les Baguettes. That is it for Les Baguettes. They are done. Team Canada really pulling off what they needed to do to move themselves to the Toronto finals. But Les Baguettes did have a fighting chance.
No, man, Team Canada just every time that it was.
All right, so our rocket ships are landing and we're building some colonies. All right, Corey, so today we are playing as some robots building a colony in the Colonists.
Yeah.
What did you think of this one? This one's on PC.
Well, it's your basic resource management style game, right? We're landing in a spaceship on an unknown land, and now we have to basically build a town, right?
Yeah.
But we're now these little robots that control, you know, they move around the paths and build the buildings and.
Well, that's because the robots have fled the overpopulated human planet and they said, forget it, we're out, and
let's do our own thing.
We're gonna make our own little planet,
Yeah,
right? So that's why it's called the Colonists, because our robots are basically building everything now. And like you said, though, it is a resource management game. It kind of reminds me of like a SimCity-ish kind of thing, right? So if you like a SimCity, like I do, this is kind of right up my alley.
Yeah,
so
it was a big one for you.
You, on the other hand, felt a little differently.
Well, I like resource management games. I've played, you know, the Age of Empires, SimCities when I was younger, for sure. I got into those games. And I don't know, maybe as I've gotten older, I've gotten away from them, haven't played them as much.
Sure.
So it took me a little longer in this game to kind of get the feel for it.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it to the point where, you know, you're building and you're building up and everything's kind of happening around you. I like the aspect of being able to speed things up so you can kind of make things happen a lot faster. But I don't know, it took a little bit extra for me. I know you enjoyed it a little more than I did.
Absolutely.
But it's a well-made game.
Oh, it's polished.
You can't deny that.
No.
It looks good. I think the little robots are kind of, you got that cutesy look to
they
them,
definitely do. Yeah.
but you know, the way they roll on the paths and you make your new paths and it adds more robots to allow the little train of resources to make it through.
Yeah.
I thought was kind of a cool idea because I've never played a game where it's quite like that.
Yeah,
So it's kind of
sure.
its own style in this genre, right?
Yeah, it is. I honestly had a problem with the path system itself. What a cluster of a system they came up with.
Yeah.
I want to put a road from point A to point B. In most like city-like builders or resource management, if you build a road,
it's a click and drag, easy kind of
then you're
thing.
done. You have to actually click on this little node and then manage that to swing over to the other node to click on that. And then half times I'd have a house over here or some kind of workshop going on, and I couldn't get my road to click over here, so I had to make a path. And once you get your path down, I can't get a road. I'm like, why am I doing this? How hard is it to make my road go from here to here? I was getting so frustrated.
Well, I can totally relate because when I first fired the game up, the first thing I noticed was there's a lot of dialogue boxes when you first get into the tutorials. I felt like I was reading a book and not playing a game.
Yeah, that was rough.
But there's a lot of information to take in this game, so people that are interested in these styles of games will kind of immerse themselves in what they need to do to make the game happen. Unfortunately, a little too much reading for me.
That was too much reading for me, and I like these games.
My biggest issue is with the paths. They give you the first little job to make a path from the current path to your new building.
Which is like 3 squares.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what I did was I built the path, but I didn't build it the little driveway at the building. And it kind of locked up in the screen where I couldn't select build again because a dialogue box was up.
Yeah.
And actually what happened is I had to actually start the game all over again. So I lost the progress I had. Luckily it was so early on in the game.
Sure.
But that was my first impression, so it was a little
sour to start with.
I was kind of like, what's going on with this? This isn't treating me well enough yet.
Yeah.
So it was difficult in that sense, but once you start expanding, it kind of became fun. Like I enjoyed it, right? Because now we got buildings. Now I've got fields with sheep, and I'm mining ore and chopping trees down. There's aspects of this game that are fantastic.
Yes.
But there were things that kind of hold it back, right? And that path system was what bothered me the most by far.
That was rough. Like I really didn't understand it. I just want a road. Just put a flipping road down. I don't understand why I can't click on a road or at least upgrade my path. I couldn't I had to, so in order to expand out your map, you put a watchtower down.
Yes.
Okay? But I can't get a road to the damn watchtower.
Yeah.
I gotta get a path. And once my path is down, I'm now blocked from putting my road down. Okay, I'm gonna stop with the road thing because that's obviously bothering me. There's a major
Well,
issue.
I mean, it is a hang-up, right? With this game, it is a major hang-up. But there's so many other elements to this game that I think make it shine, and it'll make people that like these resource management games really enjoy it.
Yes.
But for me personally, kind of a swing and a miss.
Sure. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. There is a lot to do, especially when you get into the fact that you're suddenly upgrading all your resources. So now you're going out for ore, but you need to go get this as well and gather that. So then once you gather all these resources, and your robot from your mothership is kind of getting those resources, so it's like your energy power.
Yeah, your energy's building up.
Yeah, and then that'll allow you to craft everything you need to upgrade your stuff. And then all of a sudden my stuff's getting bigger. Like you said, I got a sheep farm going over here, and I'm resourcing a bunch of wood over here, and I've got a fishing hut or two on this side, and I'm expanding, but that road system.
The upgradability of all your resource, like that, being able to, whatever you're mining or chopping down or fishing, being able to upgrade that stuff gets you a little more in depth with the game, right? Because now things are moving a little bit faster. You're creating more buildings. Your community's getting larger. You're expanding throughout the map. I liked it. I like that idea and how quickly you can get into that.
Sure.
But the beginning of the game is what really killed me when it comes to all the dialogue and.
It's a slow start.
It
It's
is.
a slow burn to get you into the game.
Yeah.
What I found was cool because they are robots that they actually like shut down if there's nothing for them to do. They just go to sleep.
And that kind of, I got to get them working again, right?
Exactly.
Because you realize, and that's kind of the idea, is being able to keep things flowing all the time.
Yeah.
And that's where you kind of max out all your resources and be able to get to the point where you want to be when it comes to expanding your community.
Yeah, I think the game that really kind of reminds me of this a lot of is a game called Banished. And if you played that on PC, I think you honestly like this game as well.
Yeah.
It's very similar to that. That was set in the Pioneer days, and there's a lot of resource management and building and stuff. So it's a lot like that. So The Colonists for me really kind of it hit home. I really did enjoy it.
Yeah, a little nostalgia there for you.
Yeah, I really did like it. It was good. All right, Corey, let's wrap this up. What are you going to give The Colonists on the PC?
Well, I think it's a good game. It looks good. I like the environment, the way the robots look and move around, the way the buildings look. The road system was definitely a point off, and all the dialogue and everything at the beginning of the game, which kind of slowed it down. Because I mean, when you get a new game, you want to jump right into it, right?
Yes.
So for me, I'm going to give it a 6.5.
See, I'm a little bit higher. That road system really drove me crazy.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a 7. Okay, Nate, that wraps up this week's episode. Now over on our website at InsideTheGame.ca is where you guys can submit your highlighted clip. Each and every week, one of you guys submit one of your clips, a nice moment you caught on your game. Nate, who do we have this week?
This week we got Limerick tearing it up in PUBG.
Awesome. Let's check it out.